Hi everyone, nice to be back again. Now, I said that today I would talk about what it is to be a witch, but really it's more what is a witch? Because there are several types of witches. Now, I did take some notes because obviously I just struggle, my memory's not the best at times. So, out of my own book, and I was going to go through this whole red speech, but what's the point? Because at the end of the day, we all sort of know what a witch is. But what people don't seem to realise is witches do training. You know, you're not just a witch because you've got some empathy or because you can use Reiki or anything like that. You do training to be a witch. To be a witch, you follow a very strict path. Um, you help people. Although there are three types of witches, so let's get that out of the way first, okay? So, first of all, goths are not witches. A witch can be a goth, but not all goths are witches. So, all this heavy makeup, black lipstick, black hair, grunge clothing is not necessarily a witch. I mean, look at me, I'm in red and black and all sorts of colours. Um, you could be standing next to a witch in a shop and never know. You know, we're not as obvious as people seem to think. We don't walk around with our broomsticks hanging out our butts. You know, it just doesn't happen. We don't actually go flying on them all the time either. You know, it's just like, okay, you want to believe that? Yeah. A lot of the myths about witches were started a long time ago. I mean, originally the witches were the wise women at the edge of the village. They gathered all the herbs, thus hedge witches. But they made all the potions. They were the people that the people of the village went to for advice. They were the midwives. They were the caretakers, the ones who looked after the forest, looked after the animals, looked after the village. They were the ones that helped. It wasn't until much later that they got they're evil because other faiths didn't like that witches could read. They didn't like that witches knew more about herbs than them. They didn't like that people respected witches. And of course, then we come into the whole centuries of being persecuted. So during the persecution times, witches hid who they were. You never knew. They pretended to be Christians. They pretended to be just ordinary people, which some of them are. Let's be honest, there's a little bit of witch in everyone, but it's not until you do the studying and the learning that you can progress to being a witch, you know, and there's nothing wrong with being a witch, okay? So not all witches are all about cursing people and chucking them about and making them feel rotten. And making people die or get warts or get ill or things like that. That's not what witches are about. Unless you're a black witch, of course. Dark witches. Now, here's another common misconception. I'm putting my book away because I'm not using it. Here's another misconception about witches. There are three phases of witches. There's not just black witches and white witches, okay? Dark witches or black witches are witches that, they do curse. They work for evil. They work with spirits to create chaos. And that's their only aim. Personal gain and chaos. They don't care about the world that we live in. They don't care about people. They care about their own little niche. They're selfish. They want power. That is what they care about. Power. And that is all they care about. They do deals with spirits and demons and things like that to gain power. But the problem is that unless you've got your guard up 24/7, they're going to kick your butt back. Do you know what I mean? They're going to be sneaky and slide, and the demons and spirits, they don't want to be controlled. So they're going to try and control you. You got to be very strong and very firm not to be controlled. So that's black witches. We don't want to be one of them there. No, no, not what we're wanting. Then you've got white witches. Now, white witches believe there's no evil in the world. How in the world we live in they can believe there's no evil, I have no idea. But they believe that there is no evil. So they take do no harm to the extremes. And there's extremes in every religion. So their extreme is that they will harm nothing and no one. They use light magic, very rarely. They'll sometimes do healings, but they will not fight evil. They don't even acknowledge it really. Or if they do see it, they'll turn around and walk away. Now, in the middle, there are grey witches. Now, why are they called grey witches? Do they do spirit magic? Well, in a way they do, because we use our ancestors. So we'll commune with ancestors and good spirits, you know, to get information and things, but we don't try to control them. You know, we try to work in harmony with them. We will banish evil, so we will do what we must to get rid of evil. Yeah, but we also do all the light magic as well. So we do the healing, the herbs, the candle magic, the everything. We do hedge witchery, kitchen witchery. Excuse me, I'm just getting over a cold. Life counselling, everything. But the difference is that we do see the darkness. So it's more balanced. And we're all about balance. And what do grey witches do? What does a witch do? A witch is somebody who reveres the earth, who likes to look after the earth, who looks after animals, people, and themselves, and will help people as much as they can. They try to fix things. I think that's the best way to put it. But all witches are not Christian. You can't be Christian and follow the teachings of a witch. I'm sorry for those of you who want to be Christian and a witch as well. It's a very difficult path because witches work in the cycles of the moon phases, and the moon is a symbol of our goddess. We also work in the sun phases, and the sun is a symbol of our god. All other deities come from the original god and goddess. So it doesn't matter which pantheon you follow after that. You can do Egyptian, you can do Celtic, you can do Eastern, anything. It doesn't matter. There are many pantheons. There are many gods. Most of them have similarities and just different names, depending on which culture. And witches will work with all of them. They'll always have their favourites, and they'll work with their preferred deities. But above that, we know that spirit, the divine, is our goddess and our god. And the wheel of the year, witches live to the wheel of the year. They live by the wheel of the year. I know that all our ancestors did. I mean, we're coming up to Yule, which I'll tell you all about in the next video. I love Yule. It's one of my favourite times. It's the most magical time of the year. Absolutely stunning. And I'll tell you all about that in the next video. Rather than just preaching, we'll go into all the fun things that you can do as a witch for Yule, and the divination that you can do for Yule. Yule is a great time for divination. It's a time where we can help to plan our year ahead, help to guide the goddess, the god, and the elements to what we would like in the year. And we can sort of prepare ourselves with the certain things that come up over the Yuletide period as to what we can expect over the next year. So it's working again in balance, which is what we do a lot of the time. What else is a witch? A witch is someone who can, yes, manipulate energy. We work in the astral plane. So spells we create in the astral plane and we will bring to being on this plane. And I'm not going to tell you how we do that just yet. That's much later on when I go into spell work. But yeah, so we do astral travel. We work with familiars. Yes, we do. And familiars, by the way, are not always in this plane of existence. So some will have dogs like myself. Some will have cats. Some will have anything, really. You can have anything as a familiar. And in the astral plane, we can have other familiars. And you don't just have to work with one familiar in the astral plane. Like if you're wanting to harness the strength of the wolf for protection, you would work with the wolf in the astral plane. So you would draw on their energy, bring it into this plane within yourself, and use the energies of that animal. And that's how you would work with astral familiars. So there's a whole thing. We work with the moon phases, and obviously we do rituals. Rituals are our way of worshipping the goddess and god, saying thank you to all the elements and all the deities and for the things in our lives. And it's a time that we can use to ask for other things. And after a ritual, you would then perform spell work or divination. We always try to work within the safety of a circle. We have safe places that we use and set places that we use for rituals. As I showed you in the last video, I have transformed one of the rooms in my home to a ritual room. I call it my Wicca room. And I do all my herb work in here because that's all to do with what I do. And I do a lot of craft work, my spell work, my rituals, everything in here. Meditation. I do life coaching in here. I do everything a witch does. Everything a witch does. So traditionally, a witch does 1 year and 1 day's training. She doesn't stop learning after that, but she then becomes a witch and is no longer an initiate. Before that period, during the initial year and a day, you're in what you call the initiate phase. Once you've done your initial dedication, you're then in the initiate phase. Now, you don't necessarily have to join a coven to do that. You can do it as a sole practitioner. But it's always good to get some feedback from others within the community so that it's not all, it's not all in your head. You know that there are things that you're doing it the right way, that there is a path to follow, that you're hearing the right guides, and that your divination is correct, that it's not all book learned, that you're feeling it, your emotions are involved. Witch's energy is a lot of what we do. So, yeah, that's about it. Yeah. It's not about it. I could go on for hours, but I won't. All you need to know is we're not hags who fly on broomsticks. We don't run around naked at the full moon. Well, sometimes we do, but we don't always run around naked. We can do rituals in our house and in the woods. We can do it in places in nature, or we can do it in a room or a corner of a room in our house. And you don't have to spend a fortune to be a witch either. You don't have to buy all this stuff. It's what makes you comfortable, what you feel works for you. And I'll go through ritual tools in that at another point and explain how normal household tools became the normal thing for witches to use because we had to hide who we were. So, yeah. So that's what witch is, everyone. She is somebody who's done a lot of reading, a lot of training, a lot of meditation, a lot of conversing with spirits and other beings, and someone who helps everyone. Does a lot of healing, does a lot of divination, and tries to heal the planet at the same time. Well, that's if you're a good witch. Now, some people confuse good witches with white witches. Personally, somebody who doesn't see evil, not so good. They need to be able to see it, divide it. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed my little chat. Next time will be more fun. So next Sunday, I will be releasing the video on Yule. Because it's our first Sunday of Yule. Advent. First Sunday of Advent. And I'll explain it all to you next week. And why we decorate trees. And what it all means, what winter solstice is all about, what the 3 days of calm after all, everything. I'll go through it all next time. Maybe add a little bit of fun, tell you what sort of things we do, and hopefully, mind you, I don't think my Yule lights will be up by then, but if not, they definitely will be the week after, because I love lights. I have lights everywhere. My garden and house are decorated with them. Mental. So look forward to showing you that next week. Been lovely chatting. If you're interested in witchcraft or you want to know a little bit more, you have any questions, please just ask in the comments. If you think that you might enjoy it, please like and subscribe. This is only my second one. It's a very new channel, and I'm willing to hear any input as to what you would like to see and hear. So please just give me a comment, drop me a like, please subscribe, and I'll hope to see you next time. And all of a sudden, my doofus isn't working. Oh, I'm so not a techno witch. Okay, bye everyone.